And then he claimed, when he got the right attorney, that it was called, I meant to use my taser instead of my weapon. Dante, right? Knee in the neck with George, right? I can't breathe with George and Eric Gardner, right? Oscar experienced all that in one night. But now here's the kicker. It was because of the community embracing us, standing with us, crying with us, going back and forth to court with us, shouting, I am Oscar Grant, standing as you are today in support of us and our family. We got, for the first time in California state history, an officer arrested, charged, convicted, and sent to jail. Now let me be clear, we don't count that as a victory, but we do count it as a historical mark, because here's the sad note. Since January 1st, 2009, over 13,000 folks here in the United States has been killed by these road-fed cops in this country.
Say it again.
You hear what I'm saying?
Say it again.
Over 13,000. 13,000. Think about that. So we got work to do. Now let me ask this. How many of you were actually in the streets when Oscar was murdered? Okay. Oh, a couple. How many of you, how long have, let me rephrase this, because this is important. You're here today with boots on the ground, being involved to bring real systemic change. The wheels of justice turn slow. We've been at this 12 years, and we've seen many people birthed into this movement, and they decide to step back. We have to be consistent. We have to stay in these streets, and we have to continuously shout, I am Oscar Grant. I am George Floyd. Yes. I am Dante Wright. And the many other names that we have just mentioned up here. We have to be serious about this. Some of us is going to go to jail. Let's just be honest about this. Some of us are going to have to sacrifice and go to jail. Some of us is going to get hurt. But the bottom line is that if you're not in this from the real heart about bringing about real systemic change, I want you to think about this. This is not about us. It is about these babies we see coming behind us. If we fail to stand today, it'll be their demise tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It'll be their demise tomorrow. And if we do think it's bad today, wait till tomorrow. So it's important that we don't let it come knock at our door just to get us involved. All of us are now required to share with our best friends, our family, to motivate others about real systemic change has to happen, or what we're going to say is an implosion within this United States. That's the reality we're facing. That's the reality we're facing. So let's be serious about this. Let's make sure
it's pouring water for you. It's live bases pouring water for you. Yeah. So I founded an organization called Mary's Daughter for the Formerly Incarcerated. Yes! And the thing about that organization, we got 3 different programs, right? We not only trying to bail our people out, but we also trying to provide wraparound services. So if y'all see me online, if you follow me on BLAK_RAPP or Dignity Act Now, you can check me out on Facebook. You can check me out on any Instagram. But we trying to get these people home to a real life. Half the time they locking these people up, no conviction, right? No conviction. They come home to no house, no job, and having to struggle to get their kids back. So I don't apologize for none of the shit I say, none of the shit I do. Speak no evil, hear no evil. Fuck your conversation unless it's about my freedom. I said fuck your politician unless they about my people. I said speak no evil, hear no evil. Fuck your conversation unless it's about my freedom. I said fuck your politician unless they about my people. I walk in the room, no introduction. Black rap stay interrupting, especially politics, corruption, attractive, radical seduction. The fact is I come and bustin', loving nothing but dusting these racists off of the map. And when Mumia come home, I pledge allegiance and just offer him that. Allah speaking, I'm CCing and I'm forwarding that into your membrane. That same comfort looking forward and back. That same comfort looking forward and back. I don't speak evil. See, my ancestors different. Fire popping, but my comrades is crippled. When I was copping, even Plus was sitting listen. Look me in my eyes and said, Sid, what's your mission? Surely I replied, liberation, and I'm so ambitious. Years later in the cell with my thinking no different. Writing my sentences, parables and scriptures into liquid swords, daggers and bullets. Speak no evil, hear no evil. Fuck your conversation less it's about my freedom. I said fuck your politician less they about my people. Speak no evil, hear no evil. Fuck your conversation less it's about my freedom. I said fuck your politician less they about my people. I feel like a modern body, gangster like John Gotti, Che Guevara of my era, New Africa came to party. One sip, it'll get you rowdy. Pump your script up, you shouting. Tell them pigs I make that bounty on my sister's head. Why can't they free them lands? Hands off Assad, Obama could bring her home again. I know Muhammad, the prophet, could lead us home again. Muslim would dare you again with the propaganda that decided in with his peace to him and all of them that came to win. Shut it down on every spin, every track on everything. Eat, live, and breathe thing. Swallow and spit teachings. Mama Earth ain't raised no punk, no coward, or no weakling. Turn about my ceiling for your brainwashed misleaders. Your white supremacist nemesis, right from the Genesis, envious, notorious Paul. The hardest. Murders and the shootings. My word is revolution. Till they give us restitution. I won't stop till I build the blueprint, guerrilla movements, high hats, I am Black Rap Medusa. Hey, hey. Free Mumia! Free Mumia! Free Mumia! Free Mumia! So y'all remember when we were over there at City Hall and I let y'all know that Walter Wallace had family here? Well, they happened at that moment, they happened to have stepped off to get a charger, so they didn't get a chance to feel your love. So can we let them feel it?
On April 28th, I am about to explode a little information on Victor and Joshua Lego. I think the world and the community, the media, needs to know the truth about what happened, because the witnesses in there that I have talked to, the things that have been said is all lies. They put out information just to cover up the truth. My son was shot in the back in the apartment building at 1335 Westminster. He had 6 holes in his body. Now, for a person that's that young at 18, the gun down with his back turned, this officer was meaning to shoot my son, to kill him. He was in plain clothes. He was no good. He's known after he shot my son as a drunk. So I am going to be talking about him. So I'm hoping that everybody come and stand with me in unity that day, because I want the mothers to be there too, to be able to call these officers that's in their court. Their names need to be shouted out. Right. Every officer that's involved in killing, we need to intimidate them like they intimidate us.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, I greet each and every one of you with Assalamu alaikum. My name is Jihad Abdul Mumit. I am the chairperson of the National Jericho Movement. I want to give some brief acknowledgments, and I won't keep you long with what I have to say. I wanted to acknowledge my comrades in the Black Liberation Army. Some have been introduced before. My comrade Sekou Odinga. Yes. Yes. And when we say Sekou Odinga, I want you to know, when you say free Assata, Sekou, thank you for your work, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
She would not be in Cuba today if it wasn't for that brother right there. I want to acknowledge my brother Shep, wherever you are, with the buttons and medallions. Former Black Panther member Tariq Haskins, wherever you are, comrade. And brother Atno, wherever you are, comrade. I thank each and every one of you. I'm coming up from Richmond, Virginia. I'm from New Jersey.
Straight up.
That's the chapter we had in Plainfield. Who's
Plainfield,
from
that's right.
Plainfield, New
We from
Jersey?
Plainfield, that's right.
Check out the 1968 Colonel Report on Civil Disobedience and Law.
That's right.
And Plainfield was on the top of the list because we put our work in.
That's right.
Now, a lot of you don't know me, and that's because, for the most part, I'm underground. So I have some serious underground things to tell you. And I want you to listen carefully. Don't let me pull this joint out, all right? When we talk about Free Mumia, he's a comrade of mine. A personal comrade and a personal friend of mine. I did 23 years in prison for putting the work in for expropriations, money to build the 5 states of liberation down south. I'm proud to say that. And I'm proud and honored to be here now. We are about putting in our work, our serious work. When we talk about free all political prisoners, and that has been the chant, we recognize that freedom of political prisoners is not something that's said in a vacuum. We're just talking about freedom of political prisoners. That really, and I'm going to say some things that may make you squirm and uncomfortable. We're squirming being uncomfortable. Because the struggle is squirming and a lot of discomfort.
No lies, claim no easy.
And talking directly to Mumia, myself, now I haven't done 50, 40, 50, 60 years in prison. I don't know what that would feel like. I know what a quarter of a century feels like. But I want you to feel some type of solace in the fact, and this does not take anything off of our plate, that we are representing freedom fighters. And we know what time it is. We will die on the spot if we have to. We ourselves, in spite of our infirmities, our gray hair, our bad knees, we're not groveling in the ground, begging our pastor when we should have the upper hand. So when we say free Mumia, we're saying that as a demand. That's right. Free Mumia. This is going to make you hate me, maybe. But if that brother dies in prison, he dies on a stand of strength and power. Many of us have died. And many of you will die fighting in this struggle. We are not under any illusion about that. If you was to ask that in private of any one of us, we know that. Janet and Janine knew that. And I heard your presentation at Seth Memorial. They recognize that. With our infirmities, we're talking about representing freedom power. Freedom fighters, not cowards, not weaklings. Even in our infirmities, as we're going down in the grave, this is what we'll be doing. As we're going down under, as the medical line flattens out, our last move when they take the sheets off will be just like that. As the medical line flattens out, make no mistake about it. In Islam, there's a principle called Fard Ain and Fard Kifayah. In Islam, Fard Ain are those obligations that you have to do. I have to make salat. I seem a little faded now because I'm weak and I need spit all in my joint and stuff. Fard Ain is something that each and every one of us has to do, whatever you feel your obligations are. Fard Kifayah is what certain one of us have to do, based upon your skills, your accolades, and your talent, to make sure that we don't suffer because of the lack of engineers, the lack of I say, give me a pat on the back. I'm going to talk 5 minutes longer so you can do that again. Fard Kifayah things, some of us have to do certain things. So do not let this be a protest just to go to the next protest. We are charging ourselves for finding your home. There are a lot of formations and organizations here. There's a National Jericho movement. There's in the spirit of Mandela. There's the Northeast Political Organization. There's a Black Alliance for Peace. There's a Black Back Coalition. There's a Free Mumia Abu-Jamal. There's a Black Alliance for Friends of Families of Abu-Jamal. Find your home and put your work in. When they say make a phone call, then I suspect that each and every one of us has called that guy Krasner. You called Wolf. You called the government. You called the DOC. Because if they're not doing this, George Jackson said that after every demonstration, if you haven't collected the names, if you have not committed to put your work in, then you can go back home and put on the Netflix and become Americans again. Because it took 30 million people in the streets around the world just to get a trial for that pig Chavez to represent and get vindication for George Floyd. So how many people do you think is necessary to free Abu-Jamal? How many people do you think, what type of movement? Last name, sister. I know I don't have the visuals to show you, but here in Philly, and with my dear sister here, and with Brother Gabe, and with Salim, who represents the Philadelphia Jericho chapter, or Pam Africa herself, or Teresa, I want you to tune in with the spirit of Nelson Mandela for the 2021 tribunal. This is mass organizing, sisters and brothers. We cannot allow ourselves to remain in our silos, recognizing a group of 50 people and think this government is going to give a fuck about us. Are you under any illusion? Are you that diluted? We have to exponentialize ourselves. We have to put our work in. We have to put our work in. Last point, for real, for real. For those that just becoming acquainted with Mumia and all the other freedom fighters, and for real, I guess in our own right, we are freedom fighters too. It's not a question of guilt or innocence. It's not a question of that. It's a question of representing and campaigning to free our freedom fighters. When you look at a history book and see a picture of Nat Turner, you're not saying, oh, he killed the slave master, are you? If you're thinking that, then I demand that you leave here right now. Get the hell out of here. When you look at Nat Turner, you're looking at a criminal or a hero. Then when you look at Mumia Abu-Jamal, if you're not familiar with it, these pictures or these posters or any freedom fighter person, when you look at us, look at them. We're freedom fighters, not a matter of guilt or innocence. Because we put our work in, now you're going to sit back 50 years later and on your sofa in the comforts of your living room and say, I want you killed the cop. So I'll close, sisters and brothers. Thanks, Salim. I hope I got it all in, my dear brother. Salim, he was sentenced as a juvenile of life, got out after almost 30 years in prison. This is my contact here. This is my contact here in a city called Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I salute you as I came. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Come on, give them some love. Come on, give them that energy. Understand that there are on the streets, on these sidewalks with us right now, there are so many individuals who have actually and genuinely and truly given their lives to this movement, including decades behind bars. We are in the midst of true revolutionaries. Understand who you are here with. Some of them are on the microphones, some of them are not on the microphones, but know that you are in the company of the greatness of our movement. Next we're going to bring up from New York, Workers' World Party, Brother Larry Holmes.
Yeah, comrades, it's very clear now, maybe clearer than it's ever been. There are two sides to this struggle, and the clock is ticking. One side, our side, demands that Mumia Abu-Jamal not have another birthday in prison. Because he should have never been there, but now it's detrimental to his health, and it could possibly end his life. The other side doesn't want Mumia to have a birthday, period.
Come on.
They want him to join the ancestors in a dungeon.
Go ahead.
So this is the year. The clock is ticking. And we got to talk about marching orders, comrades. How many millions of people, I think I'm dovetailing off what the last comrade said, how many people came out in the street over George Floyd's being tortured to death in Minneapolis? Millions. Millions. Okay. Comrades, our job, we mean it, because we have a sense of how crucial the moment is for Mumia's life. All of those millions of people who came out, shut shit down, raise hell, raise some police stations too.
Come on.
All those people who came out, they gotta know that freeing Mumia Abu Jamal is a Black Lives Matter matter. There can be no struggle against racist police terror unless it is accompanied by a struggle to free Mumia and all political prisoners. You know, a week after they murdered George Floyd, they took that statue of Frank Rizzo down. We talked about it at the last rally. They took it down, the government, because they thought that other people would take it down. And it's no coincidence that all of the people who came out in anger and rage over the murder of Floyd, they went to that statue of Rizzo, because Rizzo is known worldwide as the most infamous, notorious, racist police chief in any part of the country, north, south, east, west. And that was the symbol. Rizzo, as a police chief and mayor, waged war on the black community. He waged war on the Black Panthers. In 1970, he personally led a raid on the Black Panther Party's office, dragged a whole bunch of people out completely naked to humiliate them and march them before cameras. He was the one who declared the war against MOVE. He wasn't in power when they bombed it, but he was responsible. And the people who want Mumia to die are the police. They are the ones more than anybody else that are blocking his freedom. And so, when somebody says we need to defund the police, okay, but first free Mumia. Somebody says pass the George Floyd Act, okay, but first free Mumia. Somebody says abolish the police, definitely, but first free Mumia. Somebody says we gotta make revolution, let's do it ASAP, but first free Mumia and all political prisoners.
Cada uno de ustedes puede ser donde no hay cámaras, donde nadie lo vio, donde nadie dijo nada, tampoco lo grabó. ¿Y cómo podemos justificar?
Oh, Phyllis, I should have to knock on your front door before this is over. So I want to say Black Power. I'm always first and foremost Black Power. Power to the people. Power to the people. Thank you.
Nice power! Say his name!
Power!
Say his name! Nice power! Say his name! Nice power! Say his name! Nice power! Say his name! Nice power! Say his name! Nice power! Say his name! Nice power! Say his name! Nice power! If Nash don't get it, shut it down! If Nash don't get it, shut it down! Nash don't get it, shut it down! time for this. Y'all hear what I'm saying? This is exactly why I had to start Be Their Voices organization. Because while we were out here fighting, talking about police, look at what's happening in the jails. We can't allow them to continue to treat our babies less than human. They're in there. You all heard her story, okay? Very different story. Her baby should be alive. Cardell was in there to pay his debt to society, but he should still be alive. They had no right to treat our babies the way they did. So if we don't get it, we shutting it down. Say his name.
Nash Powell.
Say his name.
Nash Powell.
Nash Powell. Say his name.
Nash Powell.
Nash Powell. Say his name.
Nash Powell.
Say his name.
Nash Powell.
Please, people, that's what we're asking y'all to do. Repeat these names. That's the only way that people are going to know what is happening in Minnesota, and y'all see how deep racism runs in Minnesota, and we're sick and tired of telling these stories over and over and over again and still getting no justice. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Thank you.
Here in 4 minutes.
I need a cigarette. So, and I also want to put my...
And it gets tiring for these families who have lost loved ones. So it's up to all of us as relatives, as community, to help each other and stand there for them and help them get through this and fight for our people. So I live in San Francisco, and Jessica Alva was murdered there in San Francisco, and I'm really disappointed in our police department there and the way they handled that. They listed it as a suicide when we know it was a murder, and we are going to keep fighting for that family and other families that are here so that we can get justice for their relatives. I'm part of a singing group, Red Lightning Women Power, and there's a few of us here. So we were going to sing a few songs. Also, with our singing group, with all of this going on, we turned in a different direction to do more advocacy work around MMIW and bringing awareness to the non-Native communities. I live in an urban setting, so we have had many meetings with our supervisors, the police chief, the mayor, and we're just doing what we can to help these families and get justice for their relatives who go missing or get murdered. So I'm gonna pass it to anybody else if they want to say anything at this moment. Thank you.
Ink Nash Waniksha, Roxanne White, Wash Nash Kanik, Yakma Ku, Nimi Pu Ku, Luxak Ku, Aninin, Grovant, Wikshaishash, Coast Salish territories of the Suquamish, the Duwamish, the Muckleshoot and Tulalip peoples. My name is Roxanne White. I'm Yakima Nez Perce, Nooksack, and Grovant. And I presently reside in the Coast Salish territories of the Duwamish and the Suquamish, the Tulalip, and the Muckleshoot people in Seattle, Washington. I first want to acknowledge all of the ancestors and the people of these lands and of this territory, of this area. I want to acknowledge that I am a guest and that I was invited here. And my hands are up to all the families in this heartbreaking crisis, this epidemic. My aunt was murdered in front of me in 1996, and she had no justice, no trial. There was no MMIW to my knowledge back then, but what I know is that the violence is not new, and we've been under attack our people as a whole by colonial invaders since Christopher Columbus first set sail. And our women and our children have been being trafficked since over 560 years ago. I want to acknowledge and also say that with these pedophiles from these other countries, these pedophiles and these rapists and these murderers, that they also abused and trafficked and sexually assaulted our boys and our men, and that stuff happened, and it continued to happen through the boarding schools and through the forced removal of our languages, the forced removal of our cultures and our ceremony, our way of life, our way of living and being. When I think about all of this stuff, I think about all the healing that we have to do so that backwards we can send that healing back to our ancestors. I want to say that this violence is something that I grew up with, seeing and knowing. When I was a very young little girl, some man came into our home and he took me, and bad things happened. And my life changed from that moment on. The way I seen the world, the way I seen people, the way I thought and felt about everything. And things kept happening throughout my life. By the time I was 22, I had been trafficked by a family member. In 2018, my cousin, Rocinda Strong, went missing on the reservation where I grew up, which is the Yakima Reservation. It's where my mom and all my family lives. And it's one of the tribes I'm a part of, but when she went missing, my cousin went to the tribal police to file the missing persons. She wanted to file a missing persons report, and they felt like they knew her, and they said, "Are you sure she's just not out partying? You know Rocinda." Things like that. I hear that time and time again from families, from other families. And we hit the streets, me and my cousin. We did vigils and prayer walks, and we did all these other things to try to keep Rocinda's face out there, to keep her name out there, so that, we knew that the police, whether it was tribal, city, county, state, federal, that she would just be another cold case, another unsolved case. And that if we didn't get out and do something, that we would never find her, and that there would never be any justice. And so we have sworn to not rest until she gets justice. And even then, there will never be no closure. Even then, we will never fully heal from her being found 300 days later in a freezer. We still don't even know what was done to her. We don't know what those last moments of her life were like. But we're not giving up, and when I come to these places, usually I'm the one holding the event. Usually I'm the one organizing this work. And I've, even on this walk, very emotional, because I never just show up as a family. I show up as an advocate, helping other families, supporting other families. And so, you know, like coming into this space, you know, as I was listening to all the families here, I knew their pain. I know it. One of the families I was just up talking, I heard them talk about their loved one. My brother and sister's daughter was shot in 2018 as well. It's been almost 2 years and no investigation. They're not doing anything. And I stand here and I say this stuff. And after doing this way of life, this work, I need to tell you that I've come to the conclusion that this is good medicine, what we're doing for the families. It is, because it's healing, and I know that because I know the healing that I see the families receive over where I'm from in different states that I go to. But we gotta take it a step further. We gotta get involved. And this is where I'm at, and I want to share this. Most of the families are gone, but maybe they'll hear this. This is a family-led movement. This is a family survivor-led movement. For decades, and the First Nations relatives, they've been, you know, it wasn't just women that said, I got a passion, that were fighting and doing those walks and showing up at courts and all this. Those were family members. And the community that shows up with those family members is there to carry them, carry their prayers and lift them up. That's what we're here to do. I know I'm slow, but I've been through a lot in my lifetime. Lucky, I know how blessed I am to be here. When we were marching, I was way in the back, about a half a block behind the whole prayer walk. And when I was back there, and I need to say this, I thought about, like, if this was a walk, where would our most vulnerable people be? We, as Indian people, as Native people, we take care of those most vulnerable ones. Our homeless community, our relatives that are drinking themselves to death. We take care of them, but somehow we've gotten so far away from remembering to take care of those most vulnerable ones that we often throw them away. We look over them, we pass them by, and we forget how to truly take care of our elders. And I share this because my heart was hurt, because I wanted to be catching up with you guys. But I'm grateful that I made it. I made it. Even under all the pain in my knees, and I made it. It felt good to walk in here. And I'm grateful for Rachel and the other young niece that stayed there with me, and the two women in the back of me that stayed there with me. I'm really grateful. And for the bikers, the riders, the Red Drum that stayed in the back until each and every one of us came in. That's good medicine. That's what we do as a people. this work that we have to do, I want to encourage some are really smart and you got these educations and you work in law or you work in policy. Teach these families what policy is. Teach them what it is that we need to do and mobilize the families and let them be the ones that write these laws. Let them be the ones that say what we need for this justice. Because right now it's happening all over the United States. Laws are being passed, policies are being written, and the families are not at the table. The families are the ones that are experiencing this from the time their loved one goes missing, every minute, every hour, every day, and every night afterwards. I ask, this is the call. For those of you that really want to be an ally and support families, to help these families. Help them come to a place where they can be writing, or at least have a word. Let them guide the policy and the legislation that might go in, and stop letting these people in the government office carry this to build their own careers off of the pain and suffering of families and our loved ones. And that much I had to say. I want to thank everyone, because when I organize, it takes more than just one person. In fact, I tell everybody, if I did this by myself, I'd be the only one standing here. There's a lot of hands that go in to making something like this happen, and I just want to acknowledge all those hands, all the prayers and the ancestors that put in on this work and these prayers.
Thank you for sharing those words. Skugtash, everyone. My name's Ariana.
Then you motherfucking mother system and the police brutality. What I want to tell, especially my sister, she wants to say it. I call her Queen Mandela.
Yes.
The wife of Mandela, who was fighting so many years for the justice.
That's right.
What I would say, hey sister, we are the black as a Somali. When you say Somali matter, it's not. Say black matter. We are the black. I'm not white, I'm not Asian, I'm not a native, I am African. And I'm proud by color.
That's right.
I am not racist, and I don't like who hate the colors. All the colors is the same, but I don't like the one who is my enemy.
That's
who is
right.
that? The police.
That's right.
I don't care, okay, who color he is. Okay, the enemy is the one who is killing you, even if your brother or your sister is your enemy and you hate that, right? I say, we don't need peace. We need a justice, and we need equal and rights. No matter what color you are, we have to stick together and fight together. Fight for the justice, fight with all of you. I was sorry if I say a mother F, I will never say it. I will say a Bobby F. And I'm father too. Thank you.
Hey, what's his name? What's his name?
Okay, now we're gonna have Tusa. He's gonna lead us with a song, and I want to tell you guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know everybody gotta go, you got other things to do, and I understand. Thank you so much for standing out here listening to our families as we simply vent. This provides healing. Being able to tell your story, being able to say what you're feeling and what you're going through, and having people listen. For 11 years, I went around just trying to get people to listen to me.
trying to get people to hear my story and believe my side of the story. So it means more than you guys will even know. It might seem like you're just standing somewhere or you're just listening to something, but it actually means more than you guys will ever know for a family to be able to stand up here and tell their truth, to tell their side of the story. So you being here today and simply listen, that seems so small, but it's actually more than you will ever know. And I thank you so much. Our families thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. Thank you. So the next thing, we're going to have Tucson lead us in a song.
Thank you, Sheriff. Appreciate everybody coming out and staying this long. You know, folks every week, you know, they may go to church, they may go to, you know, whatever they go to weekly. And I really feel like this community is starting to show up, not only weekly, but daily for these actions. And you really have to understand that you're changing and you're impacting things just by showing up. Just by continuing to show up, you're impacting the way that your community looks. And you're transforming the way that you're going to be going forward. And what you saw in the past week is you saw Tim Walz, who will show up to the funeral, but he won't show up to the action to prevent that funeral. You see what I'm saying? Tim Walz will show up to the funeral for the murdered black boy, who he wouldn't show up to the action for to prevent that from happening. Do you see what I'm saying? And there's something to that. He wants to show up to the funeral to show you it's called performative. It's called performative caring, performative justice. It is to pacify you, to make you think that he does care, to make you think that he's going to be there. He'll show up to the funeral, but not show up to the action to prevent that funeral. Mayor Fry will live in a house that he would never fight for somebody else to live in. Do you see what I'm saying? These folks will fight for their jobs and their money, but they will not fight for the people. When I first came out here, I saw Tim Walz come out and talk to Del Shia. And he just talked out the side of his mouth and then he left. It was real quick. No contrition, no empathy, no nothing. He just came out and then just left. And that was it.
That's right. Tell the truth and shame.
That was it. Amy Klobuchar will show up to the funeral and say, a boy getting pulled over shouldn't result in getting shot. But she won't say, just by breathing and being black, shouldn't result in you spending 18 years in prison. And by the way, Amy was responsible for that. She locked up Maya Burrell for 18 years. For no damn reason. And they didn't do the work until Nakima and Elijah showed up to one of her press conferences, and she wouldn't come out in front of everybody and talk to them. Why she still has a job, I don't know. Why she was allowed to speak at that funeral, I don't know. I don't know why they were there. Because Amy will show up to the funeral, but she ain't going to show up to the action to prevent that funeral. Matter of fact, she'll show up to make sure that a black boy goes to jail or prison before she'll show up to an action to prevent him from going to prison or to the grave. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do going forward. 40% of Brooklyn Center's budget goes to policing. That's 22 unsworn officers and 49 full-time officers. And not a single one of them lives in Brooklyn Center. So let me tell you something. 40% of Brooklyn Center's budget goes to cops that don't live in Brooklyn Center. 40% of Brooklyn Center's budget goes to a group of people that killed Daunte Wright. Think about that. And then last week, on Friday, when we said military's out here, they're doing this and that, people said, hey, cut the scare tactics out. And then when the sun rose the next morning, they said, I'm so sorry, I just heard about the 100 folks that got arrested. People don't understand that you're living in a police state right now, and it's because this man called it. And when right-wing protesters showed up here, and Tim Walz wanted to cry for help and say, oh, I had to evacuate my 14-year-old son out of here. How the hell do you think black families feel with cops parading around from Lakeville, coming from racist sundown towns to their neighborhoods all the time? Tim got a little taste, and he didn't like it, and he went on TV and started crying about it. And good, I hope he knows how we feel. I hope he gets the experience, because the black experience for us is a lifetime. He may have just had it for 90 minutes, and that was with a whole bunch of racist folks outside of his house. He had to move his son out. Tim doesn't represent you. And I got news for you, and I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm just going to tell you, I don't know if we got justice. Because I believe justice is living in a world where Dante Wright is still alive. I believe justice is living in a world where all these people are still alive. I believe justice is living in a world where Kim Potter understands cognitive dissonance at the age of 5. I believe justice is living in a world where Derek Chauvin is not a serial killer. If you look at his track record, go to Communities United Against Police Brutality, it reads longer than your laundry list. And Mayor Fry ensured that he still had a job. Justice is holding those people accountable before our black brothers end up into the grave. In this country, black men are 2.5 times more likely to be killed by cops than white men. But the kicker is, black men are 2.5 times less likely to be armed than those white men when they're killed. So that tells you, unarmed black men are being killed by cops more than armed white men. Now, I don't like any of those numbers, but that's the reality. And that's the world that you have to change. That's the thing that you have to change. And it ain't just about black men. Although we're by far predated upon by cops, statistically higher than anybody else. But this is about everybody. This is about Asian lives. It's about trans lives. About non-binary folks, by our brothers and sisters, Somali lives, Muslim lives. All the people that are affected by police brutality, Native lives. We need to change the world going forward so we live in a world that already has justice. So today, I'm wearing my grandfather's jacket. His name was Lauren Van Dusen, and they called him Doc because he was real good at music theory, and he played the trombone, and he played in the band before they had synthesizers and fake music at the Twins games and the Vikings games. He'd be on the parade, the big Vikings parade. So I know that my grandfather, he didn't really, I don't think he expected, he was an old white man, and I don't really think he expected, you know, a young brown kid running around his living room and teaching trombone to him, teaching trombone to me. But he did it with grace, and I loved him for it. And I know y'all had grandparents as well. And they may not have expected y'all to be here right now. And maybe they stood on the edge of a dime knowing that you would be here right now. But the whole point is that you have people that came before you to ensure that you were here right now. And maybe they may have done some things in the past that you're standing against and you want to change for the future that you're going to lead to. And they won't have to come out here. They won't have to stand in solidarity to demand that somebody they paid 6 digits to does their damn job. So I want you to just think about the folks that are watching you right now that aren't here right now. Even these folks right here that have these posters with the names on them. I believe that they're watching us. I believe that they're watching us, and I believe that the people before them are watching us as well. So I want you to just join in on a song here that we sing, and we'll kind of elevate with it, we'll go down with it, and then we'll wrap it up. And as I always say, you can be off key, but you can't be off beat, okay? You can be off key, but you can't be off beat. All right, and just sing along with me. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. A little louder. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. I know you may have lost somebody. Keep going. I know. Ancestors watching. But they're watching you right now. They're watching where you're standing right now and what you're standing for right now. Keep going. I know. Come on. Ancestors. They're watching you right now, and they are with you right now. They are with us right now, wanting you to continue doing the work. A little louder.
Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Last time as loud as you can so his ancestors can hear it. Come on. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. One more time. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. All power to the people.
A broken collarbone, 3 broken ribs, and a concussion. On his way home from the hospital, he decided he was going to lay down. 911 was called to send help for him. Instead, some racist cops came and they killed him within seconds upon their arrival without asking any questions. Now my son is gone, my only son.
Oh my God.
If we stand together in solidarity and we fight back, they can't stand against us.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Our children should be coming home.
Yes.
Not going to a graveyard.
Yes.
A lot of times they don't realize what they do when they kill someone you love. Sometimes they rip a whole family apart because people can't stand up under the grief. And children get broken. We need to stand together and fight back.
Yes.
We need to stop this. And hold on to each other. Thank you.
Thank you!
As a survivor of police violence, I often have to fight my way to speak at rallies like this. You see, I had 2 officers attack me. Both officers put a knee to this side of my neck and a knee to this side of my neck. Both officers put a knee to this side of my back and to this side of my back. I went limp. I was a victim of homophobia that day, and the angry gentleman who wanted to treat me like a man claimed that I assaulted him. When the officers approached me, I kindly said, "Am I under arrest or am I free to go?" But you see, I had been speaking out about Giovan's death and about police gun violence and about Black Lives Matter since I was up at the college at 2015. And after speaking at a gun rally, when the students walked out, I wanted to remind them that black and brown lives have been at the end of a gun barrel since the beginning of our time. I spoke about Giovan. I spoke about instances in the neighborhood, and a few weeks later, I was strangled. I want to encourage all of you, and especially the organizers, to please reach out to survivors of police violence, because what happened to me makes me feel unhuman. It makes me feel like I'm an astronaut and that there's nobody with my lived experience, and it's killing me. So please, families of impacted individuals and survivors of police violence, please, let's band together and build a bridge. We need it. I know I'm not the only one.
We hear you. Thank you. Give a round of applause again for the voices of the families impacted by violence.
Convict the police. Indict the police. But don't arrest me. But don't arrest me. Don't arrest me. Don't arrest me. Indict. Convict. The what? It's what? I said indict. Convict. Send those killer cops to jail. The what? It's what?
It's guilty as hell.
Dante Wright.
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 Justice for
Dante Wright.
Justice for
Dante Wright.
Justice for
Dante Wright.
Justice for
Dante Wright.
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 Justice for
Dante Wright.
Justice for
Dante Wright.
Justice for
Dante Wright.
Justice for
Dante Wright.
United we stand.
United we stand.
United we stand. United we stand. United we stand. Don't change them laws.
Change the laws.
Change them laws. Change them laws.
Change the laws.
Dante Wright.
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 Justice for
Dante Wright.
Justice for
Dante Wright.
Justice for Justice for Dante Wright. 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 Wake up, Milwaukee. 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 Wake up, wake up. 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 Wake up, Milwaukee. Wake up, Milwaukee. Wake up,
to keep one as a commemoration, oh, here mine is. If you want to keep one, you can make a donation to Food Not Bomb Solidarity. Remember, got these buckets.
Real quick also, y'all. Thank you. Because of y'all, yo, we raised $800, y'all. Thank you so much for that. Is it possible to get 200 more to make it an even 1,000? Can we do that? So I'm gonna give Baba Zaid the bucket, Baba Zaid. If we could get $200 more.
There you go.
All right.
That's 40. Huh?
All right. Also, we have events tomorrow. Now, you know, Don Wallace, Walt's wife asked, will these people be here tomorrow? Y'all gonna be there tomorrow to help us honor Walter Wallace Jr.? Are y'all gonna be there tomorrow? Don't forget, first we're gonna start with a remembrance in the spirit, remembering the spirit, the continued spirit of Russell Marone Schultz at 58th and Spruce, and then from there, that's 8 o'clock in the morning, and from there, we're going to be moving over to Malcolm X Park. We will hold in remembrance Walter Wallace Jr. with his family and friends. Don't forget, that is going to start at 2 o'clock at Malcolm X Park. Next, we're going to have speaking. We have just a couple speakers left. The next speaker is Sister Basima from the UNIA. Coming on up.
Give it up, y'all.
I think we got it. I think we got it.
Here we go. This one's been clean. Oh, wait, maybe it hasn't. No, it hasn't been clean. Okay. Yes.
Y'all know. Mic check. Mic check, mic check. All right. There's one mic, brothers and sisters, they said. First of all, I want to introduce myself again. My name is Basima Muhammad Bey. I am your fourth assistant President General to the world body of UNIA. UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association. Brothers and sisters, in 1930s, Marcus Garvey was deported right out of this country back into Jamaica. What am I saying? Political prisoners didn't just start with Mumia Abu-Jamal. Political prisoners didn't just start with the BLM. Political prisoners didn't start with Nat Turner. This is what they have been doing since they have kidnapped us and brought us inside of this doggone belly of the beast. In the wilderness of North America is where we stand at, brothers and sisters. As I was walking the crowd, brothers and sisters were saying, wow, listen to Mumia Abu-Jamal's grandson. And they were saying, wow, Mumia gotta come home. Mumia gotta come home. Mumia must come home, brothers and sisters. Mumia must come home. I'm not saying too much of nothing more than the other brothers and sisters said, because we all have that same passion, that Mumia must be free. That's why we're here today to celebrate Mumia Abu-Jamal's Earth Day. But I just want to put a little bit in history of myself with this liberation struggle. I was a young child watching black men being beat down in the middle of South Philadelphia, Barrett Junior High School. I said high school, y'all, junior high school. The young men were being beat down every day after school. And we did something about it, damn it. We started getting books and bottles and busting the pigs. We said, hell no, we're not going to sit back here and watch you every day drag these young men into jail. I was just 12 years old, brothers and sisters, but my love, my passion for what is right came in place. And as I grew stronger, my mother told me, get behind, move, and work with them, and do what I can. And I didn't know the impact of move. I don't even think my mother did. But she made sure she provided them with water and whatever else that we could do to come with. She made sure that we knew what it was like to be on the front line activity, brothers and sisters. Some of us come up to support, but there's brothers and sisters that's every single day
to stand up in this system's face. Y'all heard the sister Laura earlier. She said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Fuck 12. Well, I'm number 12 in my family. But from the political perspective, I say fuck 12. Fuck 12. And that's the mindset that we have to be on one accord. As the sister came in here from Boston and said, one accord. Fuck this system. We must tear it down by any means necessary. From corner to corner, from sea to shore. What y'all did today, I don't even think the people seen the impact of it. I rode in my car. I jumped out, I danced, I sung. The power of the people is magnificent. This city had to transfer their whole logistics today. Since 11 o'clock this morning, this parkway has been maneuvered to be shut down. So the hundreds of thousands of people that circulate this circleway every 5 minutes, all these lights, corner to corner, they made sure that the people don't have that great access to us. But the power of the people is final. This message is going out around the world. The struggle of liberation, brothers and sisters, it is the belly for every one of us. And I say that to say that all those brothers and sisters y'all seen at City Hall, for those of you that stayed with us, all those brothers that you see come up here today, they are just a sprinkle of the brothers and sisters that are locked behind the walls who have been doing political work to bring us to the awareness of what the system is. And I'm going to close out with this. You're more than welcome. It is because of political prisoners, brothers and sisters, that we have gained a lot of advance in this struggle. When I think about Mumia, people call me about Mumia, and I was trying to think how old Mumia was. And it hurt, because somewhere in my mind, I want to make Mumia this big elder. Like he 80, 90 years old, right? But Mumia's only 6 years older than I am. And that hurt it, because all my life, you think you're doing something, but you got brothers and sisters your same age doing what we're supposed to be doing. So carry the word back, brothers and sisters. Get in the street, as his grandson said, no more birthdays inside this jail. No more birthdays inside this prison. We say free Mumia Abu Jamal. We call to free them all. We had a lot of Cubs up here. A lot of Cubs came up here today. I can't close that. Give me 1 second. Brother Zaid, step to the floor, brother. Step to the floor, brother. You want to talk about Jericho? You want to talk about Jericho? My brother and myself, don't you go nowhere, under Nation Time newspaper, under the leadership of Brother Herman Ferguson, myself and Brother Zaid Muhammad, we were the poster children. Yeah, we've been in the streets for a long time. But Brother Herman felt it necessary to make sure the Sister Basima Muhammad and Brother Zaid Muhammad was on that middle page, because that brother worked us like Pan Africa worked y'all. I'm going to work this mic for 1 second. I'm going to close out. Give him a minute, please, y'all. Let me say something. Mic check, 1, 2. All power to the people. All power to the people. All power to the people. Let us remember that if we do this right, we not only free Mumia, we bring Maroon home too. Tomorrow is for Maroon. Let us remember, to my young sons and grandsons and granddaughters, once upon a time, Mumia shared a birthday with a revolutionary elected official by the name of David Richardson. Today is David Richardson's birthday. Take some of these goddamn seats of power and ride like a David Richardson, and let's change this shit. Huh? David Richardson, remember the name. Long live David Richardson. Warrior right here from the Illadelph. These are on the shoulders you stand on. So in this moment, this is not no one-time love affair. This ain't no show for Facebook. This is an expression of mass people power to bring Mumia home now. All power to the people. All power to the people. All power to the people. No power to the pigs. I want to last close out and say if y'all interested in anything to eat, you have Flavor Rush over there with some hot food, some nice lemonade. Check them out. Check them out. Check them out. Thank you.
All right, next, gonna keep it moving right along.
Jared the Killer Keller. He has a lawsuit against Keller and Hay, call for backup and act more aggressively during traffic stops involving people of color. The lawsuit also alleges that inexplicably the Seattle police allowed in-car video and audio from the moments before the stop to be destroyed, so the records of the conversations between the officers are lost. But points that Isaiah Balatego wasn't the first man that Keller shot, so he killed somebody before. He was one of the 7 officers who killed a robbery suspect who died of gunshot wounds. We're getting a lot more lateral officers coming to Spokane. Sheriff is Ozzie Knezovich is recruiting in Denver, Colorado, and Seattle, trying to get officers who do not want accountability. That's one of the biggest things that they're trying to market towards these officers. Oh, we want you because the city you're coming from wants to defund the police. They don't respect the police. If you need to be respected to do your job as a police officer, you should not be a police officer.
Oh, sorry, turn it off.
Thank you, Justice. Anybody else would like to speak?
Good afternoon, Spokane. Thank you for showing up on a beautiful rainy day to talk about this. It's something that's very important. Impacted families, my heart goes out to you all, because you all are experiencing the death of your loved one. You're doing it in real time in front of us all, and all of you are showing courage and sharing your stories about David, Craig, and your story. Your point to the fact that Native Americans get killed in this town and nationwide at a higher rate than even black people is something that we need to address as well. This is a picture of John T. Williams. John T. Williams was killed in Seattle by a Seattle police officer, Ethan Burke. John T. Williams was a Native American master woodcarver. His artwork sits inside the Smithsonian Institute and the White House. Yet, on an August day in Seattle, a beautiful summer day, John was carving a piece of wood as he walked down the street, and the Seattle police officer interpreted his knife as some kind of threat, even though that there was 5 other witnesses that walked right by John and did not determine that John was a threat. The Williams family, in their grief, decided to build a totem pole to honor John's death and his life. That totem pole sits at the base of the Space Needle, and it's in honor of not only John T. Williams, but all of you that are out here. That totem pole represents the first memorial that I know of for impacted family members. So I encourage all of you, if you have the time, go to Seattle. It's right at the base of the Space Needle. John T. Williams did not deserve to die. David Novak did not deserve to die. None of these people deserve to die. If you're a bank robber and you got a gun, and even if you're firing at officers, I don't believe that you should die because of what you did. We've got a justice system that takes care of that. It's police officers' jobs to arrest detain, collect evidence, so the prosecutor can have a case. You can't have a case when you're always pulling out your Glock to kill somebody. Those cases aren't there. Those criminal cases are gone. I think it's high time for any person that has a family member that has been killed by police to encourage your local jurisdiction to reopen those cases. And not only to deal with the incident that killed your loved one, but how many other times the department had a chance to stop that officer from killing your loved one. You need to be looking at the backgrounds of these officers that have killed people. The majority of the people that we're talking about have been killed by lateral hire officers. Officers from other jurisdictions that are fleeing their jurisdiction for either misconduct issues or the fact that they don't like that their jurisdiction is wanting accountability, and so they flee from Seattle to come here. It's all nice and safe because we've got a sheriff that doesn't believe in body cameras. Enough's enough. It's time for a change. Police reform is real. Racial profiling is real. It's not in my head. Poor police tactics is real. It's not in my head. Poor crowd control by police, it is a real issue that needs to be addressed. Less than lethal technology was used right here in this very park when the George Floyd uprising took place. All those peaceful protesters got gassed, yet none of the white nationalists, militias that came, got tear gassed. Why is that? Is there a buy-in from our police department on white nationalism? These questions need to be answered by this building over here. And so far we haven't had answers. We've had promises of police reform. We'll have a roundtable discussion with you all, but we'll just keep postponing it, postponing it, postponing it, postponing it. It's coming up on almost a year since we got tear gas in this park, and no police reform has happened in this town. Meanwhile, every other jurisdiction that went through the George Floyd uprising has had some form of police accountability. So I'll just end this way. John T. Williams' life mattered. It's been sad to watch over the 10 years the Williams family and the heartache that they're going through. So I would encourage anybody that knows an impacted family member, go up to them and give them a hug because they need it. Thank you for your time.
I thought I had something prepared for today, but honestly, nothing can prepare us for something as tragic as this to happen to one of our community members. Recently, we lost the life of Dante Wright, and now we lost the life of Yadhira. And this is just proof that our young people, our lives are getting stolen and taken every single day. And the only people who are out here are BIPOC people. We're here to stand together, and honestly, no one else is gonna stand here and scream for justice and pray for justice and cry as much as we are. It's because they don't understand. They don't experience the same tragic losses that we do. Our people are getting taken every single day. I can't even ride an Uber without a guy asking me, oh, can you take off your mask so I can see your pretty smile? I can't ride a bus without a man asking for my number, asking for where I live, asking where I'm from, asking who I am. I can't go anywhere without my body being the target of eyes of men who can't even respect me for who I am, who can't even see me as a human being and only see me as an object, and it's just not fair. And so, as an Indigenous woman and a part of our community, I'm from here as much as you guys are from here. I'm here to stand together with you guys, and I'm so grateful for all of the people who came out today to listen, to pray, to cry, and to scream. And we're not gonna stop. Our feet aren't gonna keep hitting the ground until we get justice for her, till we get justice for all of the other women who have been stolen in such a same way. Thank you. She's not going to be another faceless name on a bottom list of women who need justice from the government, because obviously they're not trying hard enough. And so we're here today to stand together. I don't have all the answers, but we're working, and there's people here who know far more than I do. I'm just a young 20-year-old, and I'm here to give you guys my energy, my heart, and my time. So thank you guys for listening. Ni Umigwich.
Gracias, Misco. Muchas gracias. Voy a hablar en español y después en inglés. Yo me llamo María.
So what we need to do is listen more to community. Listen more to our affected communities. And that together, we're going to create policies that's going to work for all of our communities. Now, I love Renton. I've been here. My family's here. But there's some things that we can work on. And I want you all to please come out to council. Please let us know what we need to do right. Please let us know, because sometimes they're so caught up in our own business game. As you all know, I'm Asian American. Woo! And Black Lives Matter, right? Because all lives don't matter until Black Lives Matter. And the reason I say I'm Asian American and I'm proud was because what has happened recently, after Lunar New Year here, someone was targeted. And there's hate speech in our city. But although we are inclusive, there are missteps that our elected officials have done and have yet to reconcile with our community. And I stand in front of you so that you can witness I'm an Asian American elected official. But yet, I don't think I was heard loud and clear. Right? And yet, I don't think that we really extend our inclusivity and include all of our community members. So I want you all to continue to keep this momentum, take it to the streets, take it to the chambers, let us learn and grow together, and continue holding us accountable, because we want that Black Lives Matter mural. We want that, and we want it now. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kim. All right, we're gonna get going. All right, so we've got Nathan Duong, who is one of the leaders and founders of the Monroe Inclusion Collective. He's also a member of the NAACP Everett Youth Council and a co-organizer of the AAPI. I just lost my place. Give it up for Nathan.
I just want to thank everybody for being here today. It's really powerful. You know, at a time where our Black siblings are being brutalized and terrorized at the hands of law enforcement, we stand for justice. At a time where our Asian siblings are being scapegoated and targeted, we stand for justice. And at a time where our trans siblings are being the target of heinous legislation by heinous legislators, we stand for justice. Because justice for one is justice for us all, and we need to stand against each injustice, each and every one of them, against all of our communities. Because Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison said it best. What happened this past week? It was accountability. He said that now justice is in your hands. Justice is in our hands. Justice would be Black and brown, children and adults alike, being free from the fear of law enforcement, the fear of an eternal death. Justice would be Asian Americans living free from the fear of the hate of their neighbors. And justice would be trans folk being free to exist as they are. by gun safe. We do a lot of work with spreading awareness, but also presenting solutions. We work for community-led solutions to community-based problems. We go for community-led initiatives for public safety that keep all of us safe collectively. And so I'm going to ask each of you here today, because right now in the King County, there is a proposal to respond to Asian hate by funding the Sheriff's Department further. We need to say no. We need to say that we need community funding, that we need community-led initiatives of public safety. That we need to work with the people, the community members themselves who are affected by these problems. And not only that, we need to work with, we need to hear the impacted families of police brutality, not just nationally, not just in other states, but here, in this state. We need to listen to each and every one of them. We need to listen, and we need to propose solutions, and we need to show up in our legislative actions. We need to show up to our lawmakers and demand justice. We deserve better. We demand better. And so I want to thank you all for showing up here today. Because what are we? We are solidarity in action. Thank you.
When you say win, I want you to say that shit. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. It is our duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Say it with your chest. That's something we say in Philly. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. It is our duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Our shame. Our shame. Our shame. Go in peace. Go in love. Go in light. Go in power. Go in freedom. Free Ant. We need that brother out here on the chain. Free Ant. Free Ant. We need that brother out here on the chain. Free Ant. 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 He's going to see that, y'all. We love him, and we want him to know that, and he does know that. And he's going to be out here with us soon.
Don't go nowhere. She said wrap it up. What did you say?
If anybody wants to be in the group picture for Ant, they're going to be taking the group picture over here. This banner was made, but this was designed by Ant because he couldn't be here. This was his contribution to the rally. It broke his heart that he couldn't be here because these pigs keep on trying to target him. They want to quiet his voice. They don't have shit. So all they can do is just minimize his ability to participate for as long as possible. They got to throw that shit out. And this is his contribution. So if anybody's down to take a picture, come on over here. We love you.
Se vino ella sola con su hermanito. Su hermanito también está muy mal ahorita.
I don't know, I live in the suburbs. I live here right there every day in my city. I represent my city. I came from the same place y'all came from. A hard, challenging life. I grew up here, but I knew that I can change my future. So any way that we can help y'all, let us help. We often say y'all are our future, but we need to presently point to y'all. And let me be the first person to say, let us apologize for not being there when we needed to be there for our young people, for not listening, for not hearing, for not maybe loving and caring for y'all enough. We here now, and we hear you. So once again, let's support the family. Let's support each other. We all we got. We hear Bonham said every day. It's for us, by us, okay? Okay? All right, I love y'all. We have an ordinance.
Excuse me. Let me interject real quick.
And doing what we're asking them to do. So bottom line, thank you guys for coming today. I think we made history. We went from Tukwila all the way to Renton City Hall, and we showed that South King County can show up. Right? Thank you for coming. Eat some good meals.
Yes.
I'm from the South.
I'm hungry.
Eat some good food, and thank you guys for coming today. And by the way, go over to the volunteer table and take a picture of the QR code.
There we go.
And so we can get your information, so we can get you signed up for the RAC, the RRFC, and the Renton King County Alliance for Justice. Thank you. And to close out, we have Be Safe. We have one more impacted family that's going to say something about what's going on at the legislative level, and then we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm Sonia Joseph, mother of Giovanni McDade, but I'm also a member of the Washington Coalition for Police Accountability. Please follow us on Facebook. Check out our website, because when we put out a call to action, it's very important, because we're working at a legislative level to change policies that affect our communities, and we need your voices to push for these changes. So please join us for the session next year, 2022. The session that just passed, 2021, we got 11 new policies on the governor's desk, 4 of which are
Washington Coalition for Police Accountability.
Your voices matter. And it's up to you. Call the legislators. Call your governor. Write the folks. Actually make these things happen. And it's community-led. It's up to us to get these changes.
There you go. All right, you guys, once again, thank you for coming out.
Okay, y'all.
Appreciate you. Get some food. Get home safe. If you park at Tukwila.
All right, y'all.
I believe there's a bus
I don't know where my bus
now?
line. Oh hell no, I'm getting a ride. But fuck that.
They can get you back to Tukwila, but please.
Oh no, I'm getting a ride.
And don't forget
Okay,
to go.
bye y'all.
Get home safely. Thank you again.
Why isn't my shit turning off?
I heard you might need a ride back.
Yes.
I can give you a ride.
Thank you. I'm just gonna get some food. Why isn't my phone working? Oh my god, y'all. Hold on.
The Selfie Stick 2021 can only do so much. I need to get the ones that come with the legs.
Trying to hear that. Take it to the streets to abolish the police. We gonna take it to the streets to abolish the police.
until we get justice. We won't stop until we get justice. We won't stop. Molly. Until we get justice. We won't stop until we get justice. We won't stop until we get justice. We won't stop. We won't stop. We won't stop until we get justice. We won't stop until we get justice. We won't stop. We won't stop. Until we get justice, until we get justice, we won't stop, we won't stop until we get justice, we won't stop until we get justice, until we get justice, we won't stop until we get justice, we're ready. We're ready. Are you ready? We're ready. We're ready for change. I am ready. I am ready for change. change.
James, we are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is a march for Daunte Wright. This is a justice march. Everybody in the stream, I want you to rep your city and state. Let us know where you're watching from.
Until we get justice. We won't stop until we get justice. We won't stop until we get justice. We won't stop. We won't stop until we get justice. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives
Daunte Wright. Wright. Daunte 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 Wright. Ban Chocos, no exceptions. Ban Chocos, no exceptions. Ban Chocos, no exceptions. Ban Chocos, no exceptions. Ban Chocos, no exceptions.
Meet your next pillow. Why do we make our pillow in the shape of a cube? I'll tell you. The problem with pillows is that you're trying to fit a round peg into a square hole, or rather a pillow-shaped peg into a shoulder-shaped hole. This is silly. Look at the space between her head and her shoulder. It's a square. None of these rounded pillows are going to fit that space perfectly. They're going to cause her to bend her neck, flop her body, and twist her back out of alignment. What Sydney needs is a pillow that properly supports her neck and keeps her spine in alignment. Hence, the pillow. The ancient Egyptians knew this. Pharaohs used this headrest. The Japanese used these pillow boxes. They offered great support, but were they comfortable? Alex, is that comfortable? So we decided to modernize their invention. Your Cube Pro is made to fit on your shoulder gap. Charcoal bamboo memory foam. It's also a glorious 28 inches long. And you can roll from side to side. Want to go old school? Try the original. And it's not just a great pillow for sleeping. Try it out on the airplane. Use it for office naps or as a yoga support. It's also a great meditation seat. It provides excellent lumbar support and it's the perfect pillow for spooning. So stop wasting all your money on these fancy new mattresses and get the pillow to support your noggin. Whether you want the ultimate bed experience or the travel-friendly original pillow, we guarantee that your shoulder gap will be filled, your spine will be aligned, and you will always feel tired. Nancy Day. Buy the Pillow Cube today, and you can join our happy ones.
All lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. 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 Hey, hey, ho, ho, them choke hoes have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho, them choke hoes have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho, them choke hoes have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho, them choke hoes have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho, them choke hoes have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho, them choke hoes have got to go. Hey, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. 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 When Black lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. When brown lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. When brown lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. When black lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. I am a Lord, sir. Yay! Wright! Dante 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 Wright! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Whole crap got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
Misinformation has spread the lie that protein is good for you. But if you have arthritis, a certain type of protein actually is causing you pain. In the next few minutes, I'll explain how doctors have proven this through scientific research, and I'll show you exactly what type of protein is causing your joint pain and how to avoid it. When most people think of protein, they think of the protein they eat. But what most people don't know is that your body also manufactures certain proteins from amino acids.
No vi
And
nada.
the most important
Más vi-
protein your body manufactures
Ya la policía ya no
is called
estaba aquí.
fibrin. Fibrin is a sticky
Rondas
protein
y
that helps with our
vi
body's
hasta
healing
casa y
process. When you have a wound or
y vi a
another
dos hombres
source
que
of
estaban sacando
short-term
un colchón.
inflammation, your
Tenía
body
sangre.
sends sticky fibrin proteins to the
Que,
inflammation
que los
site.
paré y
Over
les
time,
dije
your
qué
wound
pasó.
heals and the inflammation
Y me
fades
dijeron
away.
que-
Back when we were younger, our
que había
bodies
muerto
would
una-
then send a second
una
cleanup
chica.
crew of enzymes once we healed to clear out
De
the
ahí
sticky
pues
fibrin.
no
These
quería
enzymes
creer
help the
que
body
fuera mi
move to
prima.
the next phase of healing by
Pero
allowing more oxygen-rich red
no
blood
sé,
cells
tuve
to
mis
flow.
dudas y me
So your
dijeron
mobility improved and
que-
your pain went away.
que no sabían
However,
nada que
when it
ni,
comes to arthritis,
ni
inflammation is
habían
not
visto a la,
short-term. It's unhealthy
a la
and
mujer.
ongoing. Your joints become inflamed from
Pero
arthritis.
por el
And these
Face me
sticky
enteré
clumps
que
of
aquí estaba el
fibrin
carro
build up in
con
your
las
joint
placas.
capsules and make it impossible for the healing
De ahí me
red
fui
blood
a
cells
ahí
and
donde
vital
llevan
nutrients to do
los
their
cuerpos.
job. And as we age,
Y ahí me enteré
our body's
que-
ability to make these healing enzymes rapidly
que
decreases.
sí la
So the
tenían ahí.
fibrin in your joints never
Y al
backs
principio
down,
no lo quería
causing
creer.
even more inflammation. And that's why most people notice their arthritis pain becomes
No
worse
lo
and worse
creía.
every year. Most people have no idea fibrin is the
Y
true
aquí
source
estamos.
of their arthritis pain. And they have no idea that
Y
they
hoy-
can clear the toxic fibrin from their joints and
Me
naturally
agrede,
relieve their arthritis pain
me da
just by eating certain foods. See, researchers have found 3 different foods that are extremely rich in proteolytic enzymes. These are the enzymes that act as your body's cleanup crew to remove the root cause of the irritation, the pain-causing fibrin from your joints. And I have these foods in front of me right now. And here's the best part. These foods are absolutely delicious. You can find them in any grocery store, and they're extremely cheap. To reveal the 3
Thank
foods
you,
you should
Black
eat
Joy.
to clear toxic fibrin from your joints, click watch now. When you do, you'll get free access
so I am
to a
a new
presentation
member-
with a group of 5 arthritis doctors
And I just wanted
researchers
to-
put together. Yay! This presentation will reveal the foods that you should eat to clear fibrin from your joints, so you can naturally relieve your arthritis pain. Whenever you're ready to discover what these foods are, just click watch
by the
now.
way, we only have
Now
2
let me
people
explain
speaking,
in
and then
simple
we're gonna have
terms
music.
how the
Use the
doctors will
makeup
help you relieve your joint pain. When you eat these foods, which are rich in proteolytic enzymes, the level of enzymes in your bloodstream increases within hours. And within a few weeks, your body has much larger and more efficient enzyme cleanup groups. When your joints become inflamed, these proteolytic enzymes will be sent to the site of the inflammation to deal
Okay.
with and clear out the fibrin after it has done its work. So by eating these enzyme-rich superfoods, your cleanup crew can do its job, just like it did when you were younger. They'll clear the toxic, sticky fibrin from your joints. And that's why so many people are telling us their joints feel like they did when they were younger again, after they took the doctor's nutritional advice. Here are a few of their stories.
It healed me so fast.
Okay,
it was
hold
like
up.
an answer to prayer.
All right.
There can't be
Destiny
any other
Houston
explanation.
is a
I've gone from a 9 down to a 3.
Well,
This is pretty cool. And I'm able to do the yard work. I've been able to, walk my dogs.
identities.
I mean, like, I have no pain now. How much better can it possibly get? It can't get any better.
It worked. I'm a believer in it.
I want you to experience relief from arthritis pain, just like these people did. And once you're following nutritional advice that comes from doctors and is science-based, It'll all be very simple. Just click Watch Now to watch the short video and discover what food you like to eat. Start adding these foods to your daily diet, and within a few days, your body will toxic, sticky fiber will be cleared from your joints, which means you'll have less stiffness, soreness, and pain. You'll also become more active, and I guarantee that you'll notice a huge difference in your joint pain in just a few days. And in a few weeks, you'll feel like a new person. So click Watch Now to start your free arthritis nutrition presentation, and I'll see you there.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
This bizarre roofing product can be installed in 8 hours and lasts a lifetime. Roofers are furious. And right now, applications are being accepted for showcase homes in your area. Click below to submit your application now. Every Metal Roofs is looking for homeowners to showcase our newest metal roofing styles and colors. This is an immediate opportunity. Our next generation metal roofing system is guaranteed to last a lifetime and can be installed in as little as 8 hours. And you could be the first homeowner in your area to experience one of our newest styles and colors. Don't miss this immediate metal roofing opportunity. Click the link
Have a great day.
now to submit your application. It only takes a few seconds.
There's no peace. No justice. No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace. Police. No peace. No peace. No peace.
So what do we want?
Justice.
And when do we want it?
Now.
So what do we want?
Justice.
So what do we want?
Justice.
So what do we want?
Justice. Now. 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 Right. Dante Wright. 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 Black Lives Matter. Ban chokeholds, no exception. Ban chokeholds, no exceptions. 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 Ban chokeholds, no exceptions.
What's up, Lisa? Thanks for joining the stream. We're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin right now.
Okay, so the stream is
of the racial
The
murder
sheriff
of
has
the cop
continued
killer,
to deny
Kimberly
access
Porter.
to the
He's on
body
stage
cam
with
footage of the shooting of Anthony Brown.
Good evening. How you guys doing today? My name is Ray Wright. I came today because I knew that I needed to be here. It wasn't an option. I had to be here. I came because we are most definitely asking for a federal intervention.
And again,
to
they
get Kim
do
Foxx to
plan
open all
on
cases.
marching throughout the
I
night.
also want her to
They
recuse
don't really
herself
have an
of Adam
endpoint. They
Toledo's
just
case
want
and
to
Anthony
keep delivering their
Alvarez's
message
case,
and
because she's not
and
doing her
hope
job.
that it resonates
My
with
cousin
city
also
officials
was
to
gunned down
pressure
through
them
police
to
brutality
release body
for
camera video
things
from
that didn't
the
even make
deputy
sense. And
or deputies
before I
that
leave
were
here, I just
involved
want
in the
to
shooting
share
that
something and
Wednesday
have
morning
everyone think.
when
This
Andrew
morning
Brown
on the
was
news,
shot and killed.
I read and seen
We're gonna stop the
that
video
right
feed
after
here,
Derek
but
Chauvin
we
was
will have
convicted,
much more later tonight.
in one day,
Just keep
24
watching
hours,
online and
there were
on
6
air.
killings.
We'll close it out.
Help me
And I
understand.
know a lot of you are weighing in about
We want Kim Foxx to recuse herself. We want all federal cases that have not been open or that have not even been tried to be back open and tried. We want some type of justice. And I just want to thank you guys for letting me speak today.
Here's another reason why we're saying that Kim Foxx needs to recuse herself. We've seen in Kentucky, AG Daniel Cameron deliberately stood in the way of Breonna Taylor to get justice. If that mindset of standing in the way of getting justice for families in that state, we know what's going to happen in this state. So we need the federal intervention now. We declare President Biden, we declare that U.S. Attorney General intervene in these cases now. And only to show how disrespectful life matters. That the Jews have now filed a petition.
Folks in North Carolina want transparency. Why did sheriff's deputies shoot and kill a black man while trying to serve a search warrant?
So we can't gamble.
This is why we stop it right now. Let it stop here in Pennsylvania. Let it stop here. We're going to show the rest of the world how we stop it. Come out and talk to us.
We can't condone.
And police in Columbus, Ohio, releasing more video from the Micaiah Bryant shooting. What the officer saw when he pulled out his weapon and opened fire.
We can't gamble that Anthony Alvarez will not.
We start with NBC News correspondent Ron Allen. He is in Minneapolis for us today. Ron, you're outside the Shiloh Temple International Ministries Church. Tell us about Daunte Wright's funeral there this afternoon.
It was a very emotional service, as you might imagine, Allison. There was a packed sanctuary and a lot of very fiery, emotional speeches. Of course, at the root of all this, it's a service for a family to say goodbye to their son. But this was also a call to action by civil rights activists from across the country who came here to pay their respects to the family, to support the family, and to essentially continue to elevate this case as the next focal point, if you will, for those who are demanding accountability from police who are involved in the killing of black men. So there were also people here, relatives of George Floyd and others, families who have lost victims, who have lost loved ones, I should say, to police violence. Here's some of what Wright's mother, Katie Wright, had to say about her son's passing, her son's loss.
Junior was the joy of his life, and he lived for him every single day. And now we're not going to be able to see him.
Mostly, Wright was remembered as a doting father. He has a 2-year-old son, Daunte Jr., who actually turned 2 in July. Just a very powerful service. His parents, when they spoke, they almost couldn't speak. It was just so emotional for them, because again, this is a family, an ordinary, typical family from the Minneapolis area who have suddenly been thrust into this national spotlight because of the loss of their son, who was just 20. He has 6 brothers and sisters as well. Just a big family, a big diverse family, I should say, as well. So now everyone who was here is off to the cemetery for burial, but of course this continues on. There's the officer who's been charged in his murder, facing manslaughter charges, returns to court in a couple of weeks.
I just show up to support them, to help organize them, give them supplies.
Very good, very
Make
good.
sure they're good. Now, do I want them to tear their city up? I mean, to be in all honesty, if you want to be technical, a lot of these people who are protesting come from marginalized communities. So we know coming from a marginalized community, the likelihood of them owning any type of economics within that particular town, especially a small town, at that is even slim to none. So if they do decide to tear up the establishment property, I'm not about to get in the way to stop them. That's putting the establishment, their property, over the people. I show up and support the people. It's about supporting the people. Nothing crazy is happening. From what I've seen, this is a peaceful protest. But like I said, how people choose to do in their community, you know, hey, that's on them at the end of the day. I'm here to support the people. It's people power. It's the people power. I'm just showing up for the people. Bring your bodies out to the people.
All have daughters.
Attention, this is Kerwin Pittman. He just incited a riot.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
They don't know protest protocol.
To see if you say a few words.
When we first got here, the police wasn't even blocking the streets.
Good afternoon.
Like we had to literally come and do it ourselves. We had to bring food and water and snacks and tell
My
them,
name
hey,
is Jesus Alberto, and
make sure we got these provisions out here for the kids. And that's what
I'm
it's
a friend of Yarida in Mexico, and
When justice show up,
well,
you show up for your people.
I can only say
If they
that
don't know the way, you show them the way.
after the news,
And that's what we're doing.
I couldn't
we out
believe
here
it.
doing. We're showing them the way.
So,
Now, I don't
well,
come in here and profess to take over nothing, to try to organize. I'm a lead organizer. I advise. Now, when it comes to the different fundamentals of organizing, of course, I'm going to be there helping you with that. But when it comes to the strategic, not even the strategic, when it comes to details, they know their city better than I know their city. You never want to show up in somebody else's city and try to take over their city.
the time that I knew
I'm here
her,
to support, that's why I say. This is supporting role.
she was an incredible person,
That's what it's about.
always full of
Because at the
joy.
end of the day, when it's time
Very
for me to
fun.
head back to my city, I'm going to pack
And-
up home and head back to my city. They got to stay here. So you just got to make sure they straight. Before you leave, they're organized enough before you leave, and they'll be able to maintain and function.
I was talking to a friend who dated Yarida,
And if we are to dip,
and in some brief words,
I got faith in the people that's on the ground, the locals.
that the family's
From this
really
particular
thankful
community, Elizabeth
that
City.
you guys are here
They're gonna keep it
because of what's happening, but not only for her, but for
And that's what it's about.
all of the women. Honestly, it's not fair
So
that
we had
people
that
do that.
Each one teach one mentality, and guess what?
And
Especially those in the small pockets and marginalized communities. We have people power. We have economic power.
Yeah, we're done.
We have political power.
with this, seriously, well, you have
Power will
to
be to the people. But you don't see that.
you have to educate your kids and make them understand that women are not objects that you need to learn to respect.
It's about the people. It's people power. It's people power. Mine ain't no problem.
And I have
Everybody
to
watching
say
this live, man.
that
This ain't just for y'all
they
entertainment.
deserve much more respect.
You know, divine forbid if something happened in y'all community, I expect y'all to show up the same way.
The work that it takes to be a mother more than anything else.
See how we organize, strategize.
For that
for the
reason,
supplies.
And respect was mutual. The respect is mutual.
To document and record.
The value of men and
Particularly
women
in
is
this
the
pocket.
same.
In this small area, just like the citizens wasn't ready, law enforcement
The
wasn't ready.
education
So they don't
starts
have
at home,
or haven't
and that is
deployed
very true.
Chemical munitions. When I mean by chemical munitions,
But
I mean by
the
pepper spray
abuse
balls, mace,
is
different things of that nature.
the responsibility of those who educate.
This is a test. I repeat, this is a test. A riot has been declared in Elizabeth City.
Pull it in from other towns.
If you know a woman is getting hit, it is your responsibility to go in and say no.
But like I say,
Not one more.
this road right here particularly is shutting down.
Do you want to educate?
A lot of travel, a lot of business. That's why I say economic power. If you want to shake the system,
Understand
shut down their
machismo.
money.
Stop.
You can't make no money, that's hurting the economy.
It doesn't matter how a woman's dressed. It doesn't matter if she's a model. It doesn't matter if her skirt is long.
You know about capitalism, you know it's on a basis.
I don't dress to give somebody else a fantasy. It's for myself, for my self-esteem.
No tengan miedo a gritar, por favor. Ni una más. Ya se basta. No tengan miedo a gritar.
Don't be afraid to scream. No more. No more. Don't be afraid to scream. I'm fucking tired. Seriously, because they always do whatever the fuck they want because we're Latinos. No more. No more. No more.
So like I say, y'all, it's not on me to determine if they
The
peaceful, what
abuser
individuals consider
masks
non-peaceful.
himself and doesn't leave a
It's just on me to
print
support the people. How they choose to
and
show up in
pretends
their
not
city,
to hurt
their town,
anyone.
that's how they
And he hides behind the doors. And he dresses like a wolf and an angel at the same time.
People are in their cars because this particular
Just like there's domestic violence, there's educational violence, there's abuse towards disabled people. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. They also rape you, they abuse you, they use you as a sexual slave. It's enough. Like a mother. My heart broke when I heard what happened to Yarida, and I have 3 young men, and I fight for them, for my daughter, and I have not allowed abuse in my house.
Ni una más. 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 Ni una más.
Okay. I'll definitely, when we stop moving, I can definitely, it'll be more people that show up at the destination. That's all I really
They need to respect the person who gave them life, and a man is not a man if they don't know how to respect and value what's in their home. From starting today, we're going to declare that this is not going to happen no more.
power. That's always about it.
If you hear something, go and ask help. Go knock on the door if you hear screams coming from a home. It's been years and years of abuse, and this is what we learned from our colonizers who came to our land and violated our women and our men. Here I am indigenous. I am Guatemalteca. I'm Mexican.
Bring one goal away. Please don't leave those stores today.
Links for different bail fund, as well as we came down here with a bail fund. Emancipate NC have a bail fund.
I'm here with my brothers, the Brown Berets. I'm here with God, and I'm here with the spirits. And I'm telling women, raise your voice. Men, raise your voice and open your eyes.
So
It's
if
enough.
people get arrested, guess what? We bail them out. So if they come and start doing a mass arrest right now, guess what? We're gonna go bail the people out.
Our ancestors' tongues were cut for speaking native tongues.
I don't know if we come down here with
They tell us at schools that we can't speak our own language. They took it away, and we can no longer speak our native language. We don't know who we are, but we are Native Americans. We're indigenous. We're not Latinos. We're indigenous. And we will not allow people to abuse us anymore. Our sisters are getting killed the same way as Yarida.
The immediate family earlier, when we first got
We're saying no more. When are we going to have no more deaths?
we got to take to the streets and do all this. I'm going to do it now. It's raining out here. Guess what? Just like I do it for any one of y'all. Y'all got to be the same way. Y'all got to be consistent and persistent. This ain't no ass, this demands.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're here because we're here to support the family. To support the family. I'm a mom, and I don't want to think what this mother is going through. Ladies and gentlemen, educate your children. Teach them that men are not the owners of women. Teach them that they are equal. Education starts at home. If the mother brings a woman home, it is your responsibility to take care of that woman. So if that person or that man who brought that woman home, the people who are older in this house are responsible as much as the person that killed her. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. And your ears. Listen. Listen. Take care.
I don't know if y'all seen the car now. The car was shut up. From the back inside. Let's show you that officers had to be behind us.
We don't want another Yarida. We don't want any more abuse. Not one more.
He was traveling away.
People, please, let's help the family. We can all help. Speaking with money, taking care of, watching all the Latinos that are here. This is why this happens, because we're not united. We should be united, shoulder to shoulder, hand to hand, arm to arm. If it happens to her, it happens to me. If it happens to someone else, it's happening to me. If it hurts your kid, they've hurt my kid. Please take care of everyone. We don't want any more like that either.
Told you about the people being out in the streets that's people power. Once you organize collectively and strategize, that's what you can achieve. Political power. You get your own people in these positions of power. That's when you really achieve revolutionary power.
Pasen, no tengan miedo. Únanse como comunidad latina para
Unite yourself as a Latino community. Nobody's here to laugh for nothing. We're here to be united at this moment. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Firstly, I want to give thanks to everyone and God because your presence, because this hurts. I have kids. And I tell all my kids, not to hurt women, because women are valuable. Women are like roses, like rose petals, fragile. My woman. We have to be united as Latinos, always. All women are valuable. We are a beautiful pearl in front of God's eyes and in front of men. Every woman is valuable, and I want there to be justice for this young woman. Imagine the pain that her family feels. And I want to ask that we all be united to help the parents and the families, so that there's justice, so that this person that touched this young woman will not be forgiven. And a woman, women cannot allow other people to touch us. So the abuser feels like they're owners of violence, and I believe that that shouldn't be happening, because we're in a country that's free. This is the country of freedom. And this woman who's innocent, who you can tell because of her face, and it still hurts for her loss. The truth, honestly, I have 2 young daughters, and I believe all mothers that are here, how heartbroken would you be if something happened to your daughter? And well, let's support, as Latinos, support this family, so that this doesn't happen again, so that there's justice for Yarido, and that's all I want to share. What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it? When do we want it? For who? For who?
What is you want it? When you want it? What is you want it?
David Sharp.
When you want it? For who? Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you, neighbor, for looking for the sisters. Please, guys, for domestic violence, and all the neighbors. What happened? No, look. Funcionera. All the neighbors. Listen.
Good afternoon. I decided to come up here because I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and when I started my relationship with my ex, I started to see things that would get my attention that weren't normal, until the point came that he hit me, and then the same. Just like they didn't touch my. I called the cops, and immediately the police came, and they were able to arrest him, and he went to jail. He was in jail, and he was deported, and it hurt me because he was my partner. But if you think, if he touches you once, he will do it again. If he doesn't feel bad hitting you, don't feel bad calling the police on them. I received a lot of support, and this happened about 10 years ago, and the police still keep up with me to make sure that I'm okay, and I'm thankful for that. I didn't have any documentation. I wasn't here with immigration status, but I invite you not to be quiet, because there are men that are also victims of domestic violence. Is there any men that have gone through domestic violence? We need men to speak up here and talk about whether or not they're in agreement with what we're talking about. Don't be quiet, even if they're your boyfriend or your friend. They shouldn't hurt you. Don't let them hurt you. Take care of your friends. your neighbors, be their voice, be their eyes. Don't stay quiet. Who are we? Yarida. Who are we? Good afternoon. Today we're a family. I believe that we're here demonstrating that as Latinos we have power. It doesn't matter, men, women, this pain
We want to keep all
hits
of
us
our
all.
crews working, so we're offering
I'm the father
metal roof installation
of a young daughter
Click the link below this video
and
before
of
tonight
a
to
young
download
boy.
your free coupon.
And like
20,000
man,
reviews
my
and
heart
1 million
breaks
sold.
knowing what's
This could
happening.
be your opportunity to get a new metal
Like
roof
some
installed
people
in your
said,
home
some
by a
women here
company
said,
with over
the
20,000
area where we
reviews
live
and an A+
is
rating.
known as the
But this is a limited
Latino
time opportunity, and
community.
installations
But
are
if we
being
look
scheduled
around,
on a first-come, first
truly, why didn't we realize what was happening?
En la tarde o fue algo que pudimos ver en las redes sociales.
If it was something we
Yo
could
como
have
padre
seen,
me
why
venía de
didn't
San
we
Pablo,
do anything?
Minnesota, a Minneapolis por las calles y mi preocupación fue, apunté las placas y iba mirando si cruzaba esa camioneta. Yo justamente publiqué y dije, ¿por qué no estuve en ese momento? No te apareciste conmigo ahí. Y pude verte y poderte ayudado, porque no todos los hombres somos así. Yo vengo de una mujer, tengo una mujer y tres hijas. Y no
I have a wife and a daughter, and I wouldn't like, I ask you please, as men, if you see a woman walking alone in the street,
estemos al pendiente, pero
be
para
ready
cuidarla,
to take care of them,
no para
not
hacerle daño.
to hurt them.
Recordemos que venimos de una mujer.
Remember that we come from women, and so the women need to be respected.
Para la familia,
My condolences to the family, but also
apoyar por favor,
please support economically
esta situación
this situation.
es muy difícil, muy dura.
This situation is really difficult.
Muchos padres tenemos a
Many
nuestros
fathers,
hijos
we have our kids, and
y queremos que ellos
we
logren sus
want
sueños
them
también.
to
A lo
achieve
que
their
yo pude ver o
dreams.
escuchar esta muchachita.
And from what I can hear, this
dejó a
young
sus
woman
padres allá, ella
left
nació
her
aquí, pero
parents in
vino a alcanzar sus
Mexico
sueños y
and
se los
came
tumbaron.
to
Realmente es muy
achieve her
triste.
dreams, but you
Pero
know
por
they
favor
were
ayudemos,
destroyed.
apoyemos,
But please,
ni una
let's
más,
help
por favor.
and support. Not one more.
¿Alguien más?
Anybody else?
Gracias a todos
Thank
que
you,
vienen, que
everyone
están
who's
aquí. No
here.
estoy dando las gracias que ya se van, que vinieron. Solamente quiero agradecer que
I
están
just
aquí
want to give you
presentes
thanks for
y que
being
están
present
pasando uno a uno
and for coming
y que la
to
comunidad
speak,
latina
and
sí
that the
se
community,
nota.
the Latino community here,
Sí se nota.
can be heard in Minnesota.
Voy a leer en inglés.
I'm gonna read in English. So,
Okay. I used to fantasize about having a man to protect me, but the more I grew and the more I learned and the more that I experienced, I realized that sometimes men don't make us think that we need them to feel protected. They just make us think that so they can take advantage of us. And the more I realized that some men use this to not only manipulate us, but, you know, to like kidnap us and rape us and catcall us. Like, we've just had enough. This world that we live in is so normalized for a girl to just be walking down the street and get kidnapped and get raped and, you know, a bunch of these things. But when is it going to stop? You know, when is our world going to be a place where, like, we can just all feel safe? You know what I mean? As females, we have this fear that, you know, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next month, maybe next year, we might not come back home. You know, we might not come back home to our family, to our parents, to our sisters, to our brothers. And
we have dealt with so much trauma, and it's because men prey on us, and men love to fantasize about the woman's body, and it's the body that we give birth to them. You know what I mean? This is the body. I can have a kid right now, and God, I hope that I teach my kids how to be right, how to be decent human beings, so they can allow women to walk down the street, so they can allow women to be safe and feel safe. Because Lord knows that if one day, and if I ever have a daughter and she doesn't come back home to me, then I'm going to burn this city down. And I will burn the Essence down, because I don't want to live in a society where women have to be scared and women have to be ashamed. And, you know, I didn't know her personally. I only met her like once or twice because I'm really close to her cousin. And I just really want to send my condolences to you guys. And yeah, this just needs to stop. This really needs to stop. And this mentality that men have on us women needs to stop. Because we should all be treated as one. But this, like the fantasization, the sexualization of men towards women is truly disgusting, and it needs to stop.
What if you want it? When you want it? No. What if you want it? No. When you want it? No. For who? For who? For who? ¿Qué es lo que queremos? Justicia. ¿Cuándo la queremos? Ahora. ¿Cuándo la queremos? Ahora.
Vamos a pasar el micrófono a la siguiente persona.
All right, we're giving the microphone to the next person, and my name is Patch. I'm going to be speaking in English and Spanish.
Yo crecí por aquí, crecí en todos lados, desde México, Estados Unidos, a Carolina del Norte, viví en Bloomington,
I grew up
Minneapolis,
everywhere,
viví en
in the
todos
United
lados.
States, Mexico,
Porque los mexicanos americanos,
because
siempre
Mexican
estamos
Americans,
moviéndonos,
we're
siempre
always
estamos de
moving,
lugar a lugar,
we're always going from one
y
place to
tenemos
the other,
comunidad en todos lados,
and
pero
we
la verdad es
have
que no estamos
community
unidos.
everywhere, but the truth is we're not
Y
united,
yo nada más
and
les quiero decir
I
que
just want to tell you
yo he vivido aquí en
that
la
I've
lake,
lived here
trabajamos aquí en la
at the
lake,
lake,
mis papás vinieron
at
aquí
the
de
lake,
México.
my parents came here from Mexico, and me, every day that I woke up here in my house, I was afraid, not afraid that of men specifically, fucking men,
Los pinches hombres,
the fucking men,
los abusadores,
the
todos
abusers.
los pinches días,
Every
salgo de mi
fucking
casa,
day I go out of my day,
Ey, chiquita,
and every day they're like,
guácatelas, les
ew.
doy una pinche patada en la
I
cara
want
cada vez que
to kick
hacen
them in the
esas
face every time they do that
pendejadas
shit,
asquerosías.
that
Y
bullshit,
ya estamos hartas.
and we're
Now I
tired.
say it in English. I grew up everywhere. I moved everywhere. A lot of Mexican people and indigenous people have to move all the time. From Mexico, the U.S., city to city. Yeah, we say we have community everywhere, but we're not united. And we let people, men just catcall us and no one does anything. You got, men are compliant, you know, accomplices. They see that shit and they let it go. They think it's funny. And so every day that I would wake up out here, I lived right over here, I got catcalled every day. I didn't feel safe. And I just want to say that that shit's messed up and it's annoying and y'all look ugly when you do that. Yeah. And I also want to say that, bueno, en español, yo estoy aquí por diferentes cosas. La mayoría, la primera motivo es Yadira. Pero también les queremos decir, ¿cómo les digo? Que todo esto tiene que ver con colonización. Por eso hablamos mucho de las vidas negras importan. Lo decimos,
All
we
this
say
has to do
Black
with
Lives Matter
colonization.
because it
And
has
that's why we say
everything's
Black Lives
connected
Matter,
to
because everything's
colonization.
connected.
And so, entonces la razón por la que estamos en las calles
es porque la policía nos abusa primero. Este gobierno nos abusa primero, lo prendemos de ellos.
This
Y
government
eso
and
viene de la
police abuse us
colonización.
first.
Entonces,
And we learn it. That comes from colonization. If one day you're ready to unite with other communities of
con los
color,
americanos, con los asiáticos, con los nativos de aquí. Eso es lo que queremos.
That's what we
porque
want.
Unidos
because
somos más
united
poderosos. El
we're
poder
more powerful.
es muy poderoso.
Collective power
es lo que no
is really
quieren.
powerful, and that's
Por eso
not what they
quemaron
want. That's
edificios,
why
porque la gente
they
ya
burn
está
buildings,
harta.
because
Y
people
la
are tired,
comunidad
and
afroamericana
the
siempre
community,
ha estado
the black community has
primero
always
enfrente,
been at the
luchando
front,
por los derechos de
fighting
todos.
for the
Y
rights of
nosotros
everybody.
no los agradecimos.
And we're
no
not
los
thankful.
agradecemos a los
And
afroamericanos.
we're not thankful to
Hablamos más
African
de ellos,
Americans.
hablamos más de la,
We talk
más de la,
bad about
más
them.
de la gente indígena.
We
y
talk
nosotros
bad about
somos
indigenous
parte
people,
indígena,
but we
o
are part
venimos de
indigenous, or we come from
también. Entonces,
indigenous communities too.
aprendan
So
como
please
sus
learn
raíces, aprendan sus
learn your
raíces,
roots,
la historia de la gente
the
que
story
vive
of the
aquí.
people that
Hay
live
muchas
here.
historias y
There's so
tenemos
many
muchas
stories, and we have
similitudes.
so many
Entonces,
similarities.
we
So
need to unite. We have to actually unite different communities of color. That's what they don't want. And if we're united, then we're more powerful. And I just wanted to say that we're here. We're standing with everyone that's been brutalized by this government, police, colonization. Women get the worst of it. Las mujeres toman todos los, ¿cómo se dice? Lo peor. Sí, las mujeres toman lo peor de todos los problemas que tenemos sociales. Las mujeres son las que pagan el precio.
women
La
are the
mayoría
ones
de las
that pay
veces son
the
las que pagan el
price the
precio.
majority of the time.
Ajá, y están enfrente todavía.
And they're at
aunque
the
las
forefront
violen,
still.
nos
Even
violen,
if
nos
they
peguen,
get
nos hagan
raped,
cosas,
get
estamos
hit,
enfrente
they
todavía
do things,
luchando.
we're still at
Y
the
espero
front
que los
fighting.
hombres se
And I hope that men
despierten.
wake up.
Están dormidos
They're
los hombres.
asleep. Men are asleep.
Men are sleeping. Men are sleeping. Y'all need to wake the fuck up. Wake up! Yeah. Because you want to be a man, you know what being a man is? Yeah, take care of women, femmes, trans, everyone that's femme needs to be protected.
Hola a todos, solamente voy a
Hi,
hacer
good
breve
afternoon.
porque
I'm going to be
quiero
brief
darle una
because I
disculpa
just want
a
to
los
say
padres de Yadira.
sorry to Yarida's parents. It hurts me so much to know they're not here to be with their daughter.
Yo perdí a mi hermana en diciembre.
I lost my daughter in December, and she lived in Mexico, and I hadn't seen her in more than 2 years. And knowing that the reason that they can't be here is because of immigration papers, that's not okay. And I want to apologize to the parents for that, because that's unfair. The unfairness that happened to Yarida didn't start right now. It has happened since her birth, since her parents couldn't be here with her in those moments, that she had to suffer something like this. It's something that comes since birth. It comes since before, and it's something we need to fight against. We need to fight for the parents that are not here with their daughters, because Yarida is not the first one, but I hope she's the last one, because here, this is community. This is, I want this to happen again, and I want people to take the streets again to fight for justice. Because this can't end here. This continues tomorrow too. I want to see you out here. I want to see you out here tomorrow fighting for the life of Yarida and other women like her. For justice. Why? Because we all have a mother, because we all have a sister, we all have a friend. This doesn't end here. I want you to go back to your homes and to continue thinking about Yarida and all the other women that have lost their life in this way. I ask you, please, do not forget this. Don't go home and forget. And again, I want to give the family a hug. I send them a big hug to her parents and a lot of apologies, and I want them to know that personally I will be fighting against this. I will be dedicating my life to continue the fight for women's rights, and I hope that all women and all men and all people here continue doing the same.
comunidad quiere decirles que no hoy por lo que pasó con Yadira
as a community,
estamos aquí.
I want to say
Quiero
that we're
decirles
here.
que
I want
estamos
to tell
aquí
you that
porque
we're
queremos
here
ser escuchados por
because
la
we want to be
policía.
heard by the police. I'm translating, guys, so
Que
you
la
know.
policía
That the
sepa
police know
que la comunidad
that the
latina
Latino community
los necesitamos
needs them,
y que no porque vengan
and
a
not because only they come to help
cuando se les llama
whenever they
abusan
feel
del
like it,
poder,
they abuse their power.
porque es lo que hacen
Because
con la
that's what they
comunidad
do with
latina.
the Latino community.
La comunidad latina,
The Latino
porque
community,
muchas veces no tenemos
For
documentos,
many
no
times
hacemos
we
los
don't
reportes.
have documentation, we don't make reports, we don't call.
¿Quién de nosotros sabe si
Which
ella
one of us
llamó a la
know
policía?
if she called the cops?
Y ella nunca estuvo aquí, la policía.
The cops were never here.
¿Quién de nosotros sabe
Which
si
one of
ella
us know if
gritó?
she screamed
Si los vecinos
if the
escucharon
neighbors
y no
heard
la ayudaron.
and didn't help?
¿Quién de nosotros
Which
sabe
one of us knows
cuántas veces
how
ella
many
llamó
times
al
she
911?
called 911?
Entonces estamos aquí
So then
reunidos
we're
y no
here
hoy, sino
united
vamos a estar
today,
siempre.
and not only
Porque
today,
la
but
policía
always
tiene
because the
que
police
escuchar.
needs to listen to us.
Tiene que escucharnos
They need
y
to
saber
listen
que
and
estamos
know
aquí,
that we're
nosotros,
here,
en este país, y
us
que no estamos
in this country,
causándoles
and that we're
daño,
not
y
causing
que no
harm,
queremos
and that
más
we don't
feminicidios
want
aquí,
more
más
femicides,
abuso.
more abuse.
Ni una más.
Not one more.
Ni una más.
Not one more.
Ni una más. No más feminicidios. No más feminicidios. Ni una más como Yadira. Ni una más. Entre todas las mujeres, entre todos los hermanos que estamos aquí, los que no estamos aquí.
Brothers and sisters that are all here
Tenemos que
or
ser
that are not
libres.
here.
No tienen que haber abusos entre personas.
There shouldn't be
entre
abuse
niñas,
between people
entre
and between
adolescentes,
women,
en la escuela,
young people,
en
in
las
school,
familias,
with
en los
families,
familiares.
among
¿Por qué
family
se
members,
van a trabajar
because
las familias? Porque en primer lugar
because in the
quieren
first
salir
place they
adelante.
want to
Queremos
succeed.
salir con la frente en alto y
We
no
want to come
podemos.
out with their chin
Hay
up, but we
muchas
can't.
personas
There are
que
so
son
many people
abusadas
that are
y muchas
abused,
personas que
and many
abusan
people
de la
that
gente ignorante que
abuse of
nosotros
people
no
that are
sabemos
ignorant
cómo
that we don't know
defendernos.
of. There's people that don't know how to defend themselves. I want to say sorry, good afternoon, everyone. But honestly, it's too much. They've gone too far. And sometimes because we're silent, we're brothers and sisters among all of us, and we need to be conscious, and we need to support each other. We need to be in the streets fighting so we can do something. Why? Because we have daughters and sons. But not only women, but men are also abused. We need to be able to know how to speak up so we can succeed. We need to fight for our family, fight for our kids, fight for our brothers and sisters that live far, that live close. Many people have been abused and are silent because we don't know how to help. But that's why a lot of communities exist for support so that we can succeed. We don't want more women lost. We don't want more dead women in the street. We need to fight for our kids, for our families, who always leave us a huge hole in our heart. We want justice for Yadira. Justice for Yadira. The women need to be free to go to school, to go to work.